Hello, my name is Francois Denise. I am a software engineer in the JBoss EAP team. I am mainly working on the tooling aspects of the server, in particular tooling to provision EAP server. I am taking today the opportunity of the JBoss EAP 8.1 beta that has just been released to showcase some provisioning aspects. So first, provisioning of trimmed EAP server, so smaller EAP installation, is not new. It has been introduced in EAP 7.4 and EAP 8.0, but only for OpenShift platform. With EAP 8.1 beta, provisioning is now also supported on bare metal. So today in this demonstration, I am going to start from a very simple Maven project, a JAX-RS endpoint, that produce a WAR file that you would generally deploy to an EAP server. But instead of deploying the application to the server, I will use the EAP Maven Plugin to produce the server and deploy the application into it. I will also show you how simple it is to produce a bootable jar. You will see it's a matter of one-liner. So a bootable jar is a way to run your EAP server and application deployment inside a fat jar. So if you look at the bottom of the video, you can see a GitHub URL. That is where the project I am going to use is located. There is some README with some XML snippet to copy to your pom.xml to evolve from a typical Jakarta EE kind of deployment where you have the WAR you deploy to the server to something that is automated. We produce a server, we deploy the application, and you can then start the server. So I am going to switch to my IDE. So I'm using VS Code there. So I can open the pom.xml. There is really nothing special there. You need to use for EAP 8.1 beta Java 17 or 21. I have configured the dependencies to resolve everything from the latest BOM file in which all the versions are defined. Then I am depending on the JAX-RS API. A bit of tuning of plugins, nothing special there, but I wanted to show you that you need to specify the repositories, the Maven repositories in which the beta artifacts have been deployed. So there I am using the early access repository and GA repository. So I can clean and package my application, and as we would expect, we are producing a WAR file that is named root.war. That means that it will be deployed at the root of the web context. But as I said, I am not going to deploy this application to the EAP server. I'm going to evolve the POM with the usage of the EAP Maven plugin. So let's go to the README and copy this part, and I will cover it to explain a bit what it is all about, and let's put it under the existing plugin. So first thing to mention is the version of the plugin. Make sure to use the latest version 2 of the plugin that is compatible with EAP 8.1. Then the first thing to configure is the JBoss EAP channel. So a channel is a Maven artifact that contains all the versions of the artifacts that are required to produce the server. So mainly all the jars that are in your module directory are resolved from the channel. Once you have set up the channel, you need to list the feature packs that actually contain the feature we want to see installed in our server. And we are going to identify what are the features we want to see provisioned in the server. So with EAP 8.1 beta, we have a new provisioning guide that provides a lot of details on all the feature packs, all the Galeon layers. Yes, layers are Galeon technique to fine trim your server. So you will read quite a lot about Galeon if you are interested in trimming your server. So we have multiple layers, and one of the basic layers that I'm using here today because we have a very simple application is the EE Core Profile server. That's a base layer that contains JAX-RS, CDI, what you would expect for a very simple Jakarta EE application. And in addition, it brings all the management aspect if you want to access to the management interface of your server. So that's about it. I'm going to save my project and build it. And this time we can see in the output that the EAP Maven plugin is starting. It is resolving the latest channel that contains the latest artifact. It does some work. And once the server has been provisioned, it will copy root.war to the application deployment area. So we can have a look to the size of the installation. So a server is 77, this server is 77 megabytes. We will see the full Monty EAP 8.1 that is around 300 megabytes. So here you have already an improvement. That's a very simple example that explains why we have such a delta between this server and one server if you unzip it directly. And let's start the server. So as you would expect, in the bin standalone.sh, we have the installation. The root.war has been deployed, and I am running JBoss EAP 8.1 beta. I can have a look to its memory. So I am going to use gcmd to monitor the actual memory that is consumed. So we are going to get the heap info, and we can see that we are using around 14 megabytes of heap memory. If we look in the README of the project, I have captured some numbers. So it's 290 megabytes for the installation on disk, and it's around 40 megabytes of heap memory for exactly the same example. So we have quite an impressive ratio, but take into account that it is a very, very simple example. So 60% it's a lot, but if you have more complex application, it will be not that big. So I'm going to kill the running server. And to end this demonstration, I'm going to enable packaging of a bootable jar. So again, in the README, I have the single line that you need to add to your plugin configuration. You can put it everywhere in the configuration. Let me save and rebuild the application. to produce a bootable jar. A bootable jar benefits from the same trimming capabilities. It's just the startup that is different in order to start the server from the jar. Okay, and to start it, okay, the artifact is produced with a dash bootable.jar. That is the bootable jar you can start. And the server is starting. We can see that the root.war has been deployed, and I'm running the same EAP 8.1 version. Okay, so that's it. I want to say again that you can experiment yourself using EAP 8.1 beta tooling and server. A good way to start is by using the EAP quick starts that you can download from the portal that have been evolved to use EAP Maven Plugin on bare metal, but also on OpenShift. So that's really a good source of information to get you started. Thank you again. Goodbye.